The moment I will never forget happened in a dark corridor that smelled of dampness and dog. My daughter, Emma, walked up to the last cage at the end of the shelter hallway, a border collie lying in the far corner with her back to the bars, not moving, not reacting to anything. The shelter coordinator, Karen, had quietly told us that nobody had wanted this dog in months, that she had simply stopped responding to the world. Emma stood at the bars and said nothing for a long moment. Then she said 2 words, "Come here." The dog lifted her head, slowly stood up, and walked straight to the bars, straight to my daughter, and stopped there, looking at her with dark, steady eyes. Karen froze. Her colleague, Tom, came through a nearby door, saw what was happening, and went completely still. My husband turned away from me. I knew he did not want me to see his face, and I stood there unable to breathe, not because of the dog, because of my daughter, because Emma had not said a single word in 4 years. She had been the loudest thing in our house from the day she arrived. Before she could walk properly, she was already talking, narrating everything around her in that unstoppable way that made our pediatrician smile at every visit. My husband and I joked that she would talk the whole world into exhaustion before she turned 3. She almost made it. Emma was 2 years old on the day everything changed. We were at the park near our home on an ordinary, warm Tuesday afternoon. She was running ahead of me along the path, her little shoes slapping the pavement, her voice carrying back to me in cheerful nonsense. I looked down for 1 second to answer a message. 1 second. A crow dropped from the sky without any warning, silent and sudden like a shadow falling. It struck her cheek, tangled in her hair, beat its wings against her face. 3 seconds of chaos. I ran to her, knocked the bird away, pulled her into my arms. The scratch on her cheek was small, almost nothing. I told myself she would be fine. The next morning, Emma did not say a single word. I told myself she was frightened. I told myself she needed a day, then a week. Then the doctors began using words like selective mutism and acute psychological trauma and twice weekly appointments and patience. Always patience. 4 years of patience. Emma understood everything. She followed instructions, nodded, pointed, gestured. She was sharp and present and intelligent. She simply had no voice. We built a life around her silence, learned to read her expressions, her hands, her eyes. Gradually, it became our normal. But a mother never truly accepts her child's silence as normal. Not once, not for a single day. Emma was 5 when it first happened. She was sitting by the window one evening, watching the street below. A neighbor passed with a large, shaggy dog, and Emma pressed her forehead to the glass and said quietly, "Dog." I was in the doorway. I thought I had imagined it. I asked her to repeat it. She fell silent and did not. A few weeks later, a shepherd appeared on a television program. Emma looked at the screen and said, "Big."
Big.
My husband stood up so fast he knocked his cup over. We both froze, terrified that one wrong breath would shatter whatever fragile thing had just surfaced. It only ever happened with dogs. 1 word, sometimes 2, and then silence again. Never with people, never with other animals, only dogs. Our new psychologist, Sarah, listened carefully and suggested something that made my stomach drop. She thought we should take Emma to an animal shelter, just to be near dogs. No pressure, no expectations, just proximity. My husband said no immediately.
Not.
So did I. After the crow, we had kept Emma away from all animals for 4 years. The thought of walking her into a building full of strange, barking dogs felt reckless and wrong and frightening. But Sarah reminded us gently that dogs were the only thing that had ever made Emma speak. In the end, we agreed. The morning we arrived, I held Emma's hand tighter than usual. Karen met us at the entrance and told us immediately we could leave at any moment. Inside, it was loud, barking from every direction, doors slamming, staff calling across the corridor. I leaned down and asked Emma if she was all right. She nodded and took a step forward. She walked the corridor slowly, stopping at each cage, looking carefully, moving on. A golden retriever threw itself against the bars. Emma watched it and kept walking. A small terrier spun in circles. She paused 1 second and moved on. Cage after cage, dog after dog. Nothing. My husband squeezed my shoulder from behind. I knew exactly what he was thinking, that we had come here for nothing. The corridor was nearly finished. One last cage sat in the far dark corner, darker than the rest, more forgotten than the rest. Karen stepped close and spoke quietly. This dog had been here 3 months, a border collie named Mia. She did not respond to staff or visitors, ate very little, barely moved, spent her days lying in the corner with her back to the bars. Several families had come, seen her, and left. Karen's voice was calm, but underneath the calm was something else. That particular exhaustion belonging to people who spend their lives caring for those everyone else has given up on. Mia's story was short and brutal. A thunderstorm had terrified her so badly she ran from her home and spent days outside alone in the cold. After that, she stopped responding, stopped eating properly, stopped coming to her owner. He brought her to the shelter and left her with one word: broken. Emma walked up to the cage and stopped. Mia lay in the corner with her back to the bars. 1 second, then another, then a third. My daughter said, "Come here." Mia lifted her head, stood up slowly, walked straight to the bars and looked at Emma with dark, steady eyes. Emma reached her small hand through the bars and touched her head gently. Mia tilted slightly and leaned into her. Karen did not move. Tom in the doorway did not move. My husband turned away. Emma smiled. Not politely, not uncertainly, completely, with her whole face, the way she had not smiled in a very long time. Karen came back with a folder. She read us Mia's story, then closed it and looked at Emma still standing at the bars, still stroking Mia gently through them. Then she said, "She is not broken. She was scared and she shut down. She was waiting for someone who would understand that." I did not know if she was talking about the dog or my daughter. I think she was talking about both. Mia came home 4 days later. The first week, she barely left the corner of Emma's room. She moved carefully, ate little, watched everything with cautious eyes. Emma did not rush her. She simply sat nearby on the floor, drawing, reading, stacking blocks, as if being side by side was already enough. On the 5th night, our baby monitor woke us at 2 in the morning. We looked at the phone. Emma was sitting on the floor next to Mia's bed in the dark, talking to her. We could not hear the words. We could only see her lips moving. Mia lay beside her, watching her face without looking away. My husband turned off the screen. After a long silence, he said, "Let's not disturb them." 3 months later, Mia had long stopped hiding in corners. She greeted Emma every afternoon, followed her through every room, slept beside her bed every night. Emma began speaking to Mia in front of us, calmly, without hesitation. Then, one evening, she came to me in the kitchen and said, "Mom, Mia wants to eat." I set everything down, knelt in front of her, and held her so tightly she laughed and told me to let go. It was the first time in 4 years I heard her laugh out loud. A month later, her kindergarten teacher called us. Emma had raised her hand in class and answered a question out loud. The teacher said she simply could not help but call. 6 months after the shelter, Karen phoned to ask how things were going.
Wait 1 moment.
I said, "Please, wait 1 moment." I called Emma over. Emma took the phone, paused 1 second, and said clearly, "Hello, this is Emma."
Hello.
On the other
This
end,
is
Karen
Emma.
was quiet for a long time. Then I heard that she was crying. When I asked Emma why Mia had helped her find her voice, my daughter thought for a moment and answered simply, "Because she was scared too, and she still came closer." For 4 years, doctors and therapists did everything they possibly could. They were dedicated and patient and genuinely skilled. But what 4 years of medicine could not do, one small dog from a dark corner of a shelter did in a single night. Because Mia did not see a patient who needed fixing. She saw someone who understood her without a single word. And sometimes, that is exactly where healing begins.